We good on the sound, guys? Good. Here we go. What up, Zane? All right, guys. Okay. Why women flake and what to do about it. So here's the goal of today's webinar: to stop wasting time getting flaked on. That's the worst. I think we all know that. It sucks. So the first part of this is going to be to arm yourself with defense. When you understand why women flake, you can stop wasting time and energy on the women that show low interest. And then the second part, of course, is arm yourself with offense. And I'll warn you guys, it's an advanced one today. It's quite the little system, but when you can pull it off, great things happen. So the second part, we'll be talking about how you can confidently set a date, stop worrying, and then move on with your life like we all want to do. All right, so here we go. Part one, arm yourself with defense. So why a woman flakes, why she flakes. I boil it down to basically three reasons. Three reasons that a woman will flake. The first reason is that she's bored of you. The second reason is that she's scared of you. And the third reason is that she has a legitimate excuse of why she couldn't make it, why she flaked. And I actually put that in one of the polls here that you guys can answer about which one do you think, why do you think most women flake on you? If she's bored, she's scared, or she has a legit reason. And here's my disclaimer for this, guys. Okay, this is advanced. And one thing that, okay, so when I was a classroom teacher, I've talked about this before, but when I taught second grade, I would have kids come in at kindergarten reading level, first grade reading level. I have some kids that were ready for like fifth grade reading level. And so as a young teacher, what you want to kind of, a tendency to do is you're like, well, I want to make the lower level kids, feel good. So sometimes I want to give them an easy assignment so that they feel confident that they can accomplish something. And what I learned really quickly is that is the wrong way to go about teaching. So the better way to do it is that you set high expectations, you hold high standards for everyone, and that way the kids that are advanced in the class can still be challenged and grow, keep going. And the kids that are lower in the level, yeah, it still might be pretty hard for them, but their growth is exponential because you challenge them to a way higher standard instead of kind of setting up their own boundary on themselves by being like, hey, I don't think you can do this, so I'm not going to challenge you. So my disclaimer about this is that what we're going to talk about when we get to the how you actually set a date, it's super advanced. And for those of you guys, you VIP members, you'll know that this course, I don't sell it individually because if you try it without understanding all the other stuff about texting, all the fundamentals, it probably won't work for you. You won't get this until month 8. And believe me, guys, I sat here and contemplated this so many times. I want to just give it to everyone right away. But what I'm going to show you in just a moment, and he gave me permission, was so in the VIP membership, some guys will come in and they'll be like, hey, can I get everything right now? I can pay you for it. I just want all the material right now. And so I have a VIP lifetime member and they get stuff right away. So the guy, one of the guys that joined that, he did what all humans do, I think, is that you want to get to the most advanced stuff first. But if you try to get to the most advanced stuff before building all these other building blocks, it can, it can just be a strikeout, basically. So I'm not going to mention any names, but the first part we're going to go here is he shared 2 recent Tinder examples where he tried setting up a date and he got flaked on. Both of these examples I'm going to show you, she ended up flaking. And so the first part here, I'm just going to read it to you. And then we're going to go through kind of the presentation. And then we're going to come back at the end. And then I'm going to see if you guys can figure out why the woman flaked. So again, this is just his example of what he showed me. She flaked. And so I'm going to read you, the blue is him and the gray is her. So he started, this was his opener on Tinder. Cameron, when we go out, will you wear the cute jean skirt? And again, I'm not going to give any commentary on this. I'm just going to read it, and then we're going to go through the presentation, and then we'll come back at the end and see what you guys can glean from this. And she said, oh, you like it? And then he said, I do. I've got a great idea for a date. She said, what is it? He said, we meet for drinks, have a challenge in a quick competition. I'll take care of everything. You just look cute and have fun. Sounds like a good time. And then he said, when are you free? And then he sent another text saying, if you want to go out sometime, text me, and sent his number. And then the next day he said, too soon, ? And then she came back with, my number is blank. You can text me. So this was the example he gave me. He tried setting the date then, and she flaked out on him. All right, that was the first example I'm going to show you. And here's a different girl and another example. He started this one out with Jen. If we go out, will you wear that cute jean outfit? And again, because he's blue. And she said, which outfit are you talking about? Laugh out loud. There are two with jeans. He said, first photo, jeans and black shirt. She said, done. Deal, laugh out loud. How was your day? And he said, great, thanks. I've got a great idea for a date. She said, I can't wait to hear this one. Apparently, I already have an outfit picked. And then he said, first we get a drink in a public place so we both can make sure the other is not a nut job. Then we can move on to the second and third part of our date. You mean so you can kidnap me right away? Sounds perfect. Oh, can't kidnap me right away. Sounds perfect. And the second and third parts? And he said, I give you no kidnapping guarantee. And then she said, honestly, totally the type you'd want to keep and definitely small enough to kidnap, haha. But the second and third parts of the date, let's hear about those. He said, it's supposed to be a surprise, hence the good anticipation. And she said, so then you're going to kidnap me? With some emoticons. And he said, text me, I'll set it all up and fill you in if you're still scared, and gave his number. All right, so that's the second example. And then this girl ended up flaking on him. So again, you're seeing from start to finish basically what he went for the date. And now let's get into the meat of the presentation. And again, we will revisit this again later, but I wanted to give you guys some context. And maybe something like this has happened to you, or you're curious about why you got flaked on. And hopefully part one here will cover why it might have happened. So the first reason that she might have flaked, remember 3 reasons I'm going to talk about here. First reason is that she's bored. Okay, now remember, hypergamy is real, and we talked in the last 2 webinars about this. Again, this is in the VIP membership under VIP Vault monthly member webinars. You can watch those replays and all that in the Q&A. So hypergamy is real when she can tell she has you by how eager you are, or she thinks she knows basically everything about you. She will become bored and only use you as a last resort or a pity date, or she will just use you for free meals, a free date, but she will always put you basically last. If she's bored, you are a last resort to her. This is where we talk sort of about the beta orbiters. That would be kind of where you become a beta orbiter when she's bored of you. And to dive in a little bit more about this part is, and I love mentioning this, that women are like cats. And I enjoy hanging out with women. I enjoy hanging out with cats, and there's so many similarities. So think of a woman as a cat that just got a new toy. And so I love to, I travel a lot and stuff, so I don't have a pet of my own, but I'm happy. I'm the cat guy. Like any of my friends, if they're going out of town and they need someone to watch their cat, I'll just like, hey, bring the cat over and I'll cat sit for it. And so what I like to do too then is like, okay, I like to go out and spoil it a little bit, get some toys. And what happens if you have a cat is that the minute the cat has figured out how a toy works, the cat gets bored and it moves on. You will basically never see that cat play with the toy again unless they can't figure it out, like a laser pointer, right? The cat has no idea what's going on, so it's always intrigued. But most toys, those little cheap toys, whatever, they get bored of so quickly. Curiosity killed the cat, and boredom kills the date. So again, remember, women are like cats in this way. And another thing I think about too, that a lot of you guys won't have this experience, but when I was teaching kids and I was teaching young kids, it was part of the job of teaching was you have to entertain them. You have to keep them engaged or you lose them. And so, yeah, there are a lot of teachers that are like, I don't care. I'll just sit there and do my thing and I'll let them do their thing and not listen, not learn. Well, I have a lot higher expectations than that. So I was like, okay, I have to sit here and entertain them or figure out how to make this entertaining enough for them to stay interested. Women are like kids in that way too. You got to keep them engaged, especially these days, because they have so many options with Tinder and Bumble and social media and all that stuff. All right, now the second reason that she would flake is that she's scared. What is she scared of? Well, she's worried that a man could physically take advantage of her. She's worried a man could get emotionally clingy, needy, abusive, and have to deal with all of that. So when you think about this, she's scared of being physically abused. Again, it's not like women don't walk around having this like fear right at the front of their mind, but this is something that, because we can't forget that women are biologically smaller in size than men. This is just a fear that they are going to have. We also have society pushing toxic masculinity and the whole Me Too movement, where now women think that there's sexual harassment going on everywhere they look, everywhere they go. So this fear becomes a little bit more, it's a little more pronounced in the back of her mind now because of the culture that we grow up in these days. So if she feels scared by you physically, she will not risk it. The only exception is that if you're a legit natural Chad, or you can't see it under my face there, or Tyrone, the typical alpha male, there's certain guys that you don't have to have very much game. And I'm not one of those guys. There are certain men, they're like 6'5", they got six packs. They're just that typical alpha male that you can you don't have to do much work at all, and women are into, and you can make a lot of mistakes and it's fine. But that's such a small amount of men that whatever, those guys, they could still learn from this and do a lot better. But most of us have to learn these things, or else we will not get results with women. So here's another reason she's scared, is that of being emotionally drained. So we have to account for the actual beta mon that ruin it for the rest of us men. If she feels scared by you emotionally, she will not risk it. And emotionally, this is a different world kind of, because she's dealt with potential stalkers before and does not want to deal with it again. Again, guys, we do not have to deal with this. Yeah, I get some women that you could say are crazy or whatever, but not at all the extent that women do. Because think about all the guys that, and I talk about this with women all the time. They show me their phones, they show me their Tinder. There'll be guys that literally send her 15 messages without her responding. They just keep trying, keep pestering her. And you know how, and then what some guys will do is they'll start to then say, oh, you're stuck up, you're too good for me, or, oh, you think you're too good for me. And they start almost harassing her in that way. And guys, again, we don't deal with that part. We don't see that part. But that is why, if you give any trigger that scares her off, like you're being, like she's going to be emotionally, if you're giving off any vibe of being like needy or whatever, she'll be scared in that way too. All right. And then reason number 3 is that she might flake is that she has a legit excuse, and she actually has something come up and can't make it. Guys, this is rare, because a woman that really wants to see you, if you do this the right way, if she really wants to see you, she will almost always make it happen. However, she may have an actual legit excuse. One thing I can think of that, because really, guys, the legit excuse doesn't come up very often. She might give you excuses, but they're not legit. But one that really was where I thought, okay, this girl's just like, she's not into it, so I'm moving on, was this girl one time when I was setting up this date. Before we're gonna have the date, she said, hey, is there any way, is there any way we can change the date? Because blah, 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 something came up. And I was like, all right, hey, yeah, whatever, no worries, yeah, you know, maybe we'll do it again. And I was just like very like, yeah, no worries, maybe we'll do it again. And then she like came back and she's like, no, seriously, something came up. I want to, you know, I want to hang out with you. My friend is in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and last minute she needed a, you know, support partner or whatever to bring her to AA on the day that we're going to do the date. And then she's like, but I can call her and see if she can go find someone else. So that was an actual legit excuse, because then she actually was like, no, I really want to do it. I really want to do this. And she tried to then make a second date up. Those are very few and far between. A lot of times a girl will give you an excuse and it's not a legit excuse. It's more likely that she was bored or scared and she just used any excuse to cancel. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe. Peace.